Hello and welcome to Your Story, Your Tune. I'm so glad you've joined us tonight. This is where we share the real stories that listeners and viewers send to us. Moments from their lives when a particular song became something more than just music, something essential. Tonight's story is a difficult one. It's about hope and the quiet spaces where doubt creeps in. It's about the assumptions we make when we trust the system and the unbearable weight of hindsight. Tonight's story comes from Eilidh in Inverness, who wrote to us about a pregnancy, 9 months of small worries, and the moment everything stopped. This is Eilidh's story. Eilidh worked at the Inverness Library on Farrelline Park, surrounded by shelves of stories where things usually made sense in the end. At 34, she'd built a quiet, contented life with Callum, her husband of 6 years. A joiner who smelled of sawdust and always left his boots by the door. When the pregnancy test showed positive in February 2025, they stood in their small bathroom with the Moray Firth wind rattling the windows, holding each other in stunned delight. They'd been trying for 18 months. This felt like the universe finally saying yes. The first scan at 8 weeks showed a flickering heartbeat. The sonographer smiled. Everything looked normal. Eilidh kept the grainy image in her purse, taking it out during quiet moments at the reference desk. Callum pinned it to the fridge with a magnet shaped like a hammer. They started browsing pram reviews in the evenings, Callum's laptop balanced on the arm of the sofa, Eilidh curled against him with decaf tea. They painted the spare room a soft sage green. They told her parents over Sunday lunch. They were cautiously, carefully happy. But by the second trimester, small things began to accumulate. The baby's movements, when they came, felt faint, like bubbles rather than kicks. At the 20-week scan, the sonographer took longer than expected, measuring and remeasuring. The heartbeat was there, she said, but on the lower end of normal. Nothing to worry about, just keep an eye on movements. Eilidh nodded. Callum squeezed her hand. They wanted to believe her. As spring turned to summer, Eilidh grew more tired than she thought possible. She'd read about pregnancy exhaustion, but this felt different. A bone-deep heaviness that made climbing the library stairs an effort. She found herself sitting more, her hand resting on her bump, waiting to feel something. Anything. The baby would go still for hours, sometimes a full day, and Eilidh would lie on her left side as instructed, drinking cold water, pressing gently, counting the faint flutters that eventually came. She mentioned it at appointments. The midwives listened, checked the heartbeat with the Doppler, nodded. Still there, still within normal range. Babies have quiet days. First-time mothers often don't feel movements as strongly. Try not to worry. But Eilidh did worry. And so did Callum, though he tried to hide it. In the evenings, he'd place his palm on her stomach, waiting for a kick that rarely came with any force. Maybe he's just lazy, he'd say with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Takes after his old man. They'd decided not to find out the sex, but Callum had started calling the baby he anyway. By August, Eilidh was visiting the assessment unit every week or so, driven by an instinct she couldn't name. Each time, they found the heartbeat. Each time, they sent her home. The baby was small, they said, but some babies just are. The tiredness intensified. Eilidh took leave from the library early. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was slipping away from them, slowly, in increments too small to prove. On the 12th of September, at 38 weeks, Eilidh woke to a silence inside her body that felt absolute. She lay still, hand on her belly, waiting. Nothing. Callum drove her to Raigmore Hospital through morning traffic, neither of them speaking. They knew. Somewhere beneath the desperate hope, they knew. The midwife couldn't find a heartbeat. The doctor came with the portable scanner. Eilidh watched the screen, saw the perfectly formed shape of her son, completely still. No flicker, no pulse. The room filled with apologies and kind voices, explaining what would happen next. Labour was induced. Eilidh delivered her son in the early hours of the 13th. A tiny, perfect boy they named Finlay. He weighed 5 pounds. He had Callum's nose. They held him, memorised him, said goodbye. The post-mortem found chronic placental insufficiency. The placenta had been failing gradually, starving him so slowly that every measurement, every check, stayed just within the broad boundaries of normal. It was nobody's fault, they were told. These things happen. But Eilidh couldn't stop replaying every moment. Every time she'd felt the stillness and accepted reassurance. Every appointment where concern was smoothed away. The guilt was crushing. In the months that followed, the house felt too quiet. Callum returned to work. Eilidh couldn't face the library. She sat in the sage green room they'd prepared, holding the scan photos, trying to understand how 9 months of small warnings had led to this. One afternoon, the radio played a song she'd heard years ago, Small Bump by Ed Sheeran. She'd never paid attention to the lyrics before. Now, every word was unbearable and necessary. She played it again and again. It gave shape to everything she couldn't say. Eilidh and Callum are still in Inverness. They're still together, still holding each other through the hardest days. Eilidh has returned to the library. Some days are better than others, and the song that means everything to Eilidh? It's Small Bump by Ed Sheeran. Due to copyright, we can't include the song in this video, but it's a deeply personal song about pregnancy loss, a lullaby to a child who never came home. I will leave a card and a link in the description for you to enjoy Eilidh's song. If you have a story you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it. Until next time, this has been Your Story, Your Tune.